All right, this is Matt with Dice at the Round Table. Please, thanks for checking in. As the try to do with the title, I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm trying to do a chat as well as I'm going to do stage one of taking this piece of foam and turning it into stage one as a battle ready box. I'm working on several of these boxes. Oh, that's the one. Where literally I can sell a box, and this is not done yet, but I'm going to be painting these up so that it's ready to go as a battle box, and you're ready to go. It may not be a dense 3x3, but it's going to help supplement. So, and then the other aspect, if anyone joins tonight, plan to talk about hobby community building and my own experiences with it. Anyone who's online, thanks for joining in. I'm just getting the table set, staging these up, because what I want to do is I'm going to have 5 of these boxes, and I'm going to be painting these up for gray. So, what have I done my battle boxes with? So, I don't need this right now. So, of course, the foam. This literally was just an arbitrary measurement. I literally took this little 8-inch ruler, and this should be about 2. This is that's 12. Boing. This is, let's get that under. So this is about 16 inches by, what is that officially? By 8.5 inches. And you're going to see how much terrain I can build out of one piece. It is your typical insulation foam. This is, what is this, 3 inches or 2 inches? Actually, it's not neither. It's just shy of 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches high. What I'm using, I'm in the States, so I have my Dollar Tree blade. I bought a pack of these, but most of the time it's this and 2 replacement blades, which are great because with cutting the foam, you're going to need a sharp blade. Pencil, sometimes I use. But I picked up this foam cutter off of Amazon. It's got the hot wire in here. I'll be using this up as well. Let me plug that in. Turn that on. And that's going to sit here and ready to go. So what I tried to do with this is have one large hill. I'm going to have some smaller hills, some scatter terrain, and hopefully cut out some wall segments that I may or may not detail while on the live feed. Most importantly for me, I enjoy a glass bottle of Coke. Just different taste. I really enjoy it. So I'm going to be enjoying this hopefully through the chat, and it'll last me. So I'm going to cut out the square here. I don't know if you can see it very well. Yeah, there it is. I did draw a rough outline of what I wanted the hill kind of to be. And I'm going to go through this and cut this out a little bit. So, building a hobby community. Not everyone can do it. Just be honest. However, any store can do it when you got the right people. You need someone that understands the rules, is kind of connected. My personal experience, it's usually not someone that worked at the store. Having someone at the store as a liaison, ooh, I forgot something. It's very, very helpful that you have someone that people can contact, work with, set up a schedule. Someone like that, but often the store is just too busy. Most of our friendly locals game stores are small staffs. it's not practical to think that they can just run all the events and build a community. Hopefully, people at the store do play the games that we're playing at the store, but it really is going to come down to the players. Now, I've been in stores and been in places where you got the different types of gamers, and we all know there's power gamers, there's what we consider not friendly people. You can do it if you got at least that core, 1 or 2 people that can play the games and be fun, that they're just to enjoy the experience. Now, I'm going to talk about some bad examples because I feel like talking about what succeeds, it's different for everyone. It really is, to my opinion. It's different things work for different people. But I'm going to hopefully share some of my experiences I've had. And it's almost going to be a top maybe 5 or so games that I wish I played. But I just don't have the community I would want to play in around me. So I think I'm going to go in order of what's been most disappointing, or I don't know, maybe not even a rank to it. It's just going to be what it is. And if you see me looking here, my computer's right here off screen, and I'm just checking to make sure no one's popping in the chat and everything's going okay with the live stream. Technical glitches. And what I'm doing right now is I'm doing some wavy lines to give me my framing of my big hill set. And I actually, well, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do 2 big hills. So, the number 1 game that I probably have almost bought so many times is Blood Bowl. I played on the computer. I played on video game systems. And as you can see, I got this nice uneven cut that's now going to be the side. What I'm now going to do is do another cut up along the edging to not make this a perfect flat surface, but it gives some texture leading up to it and some sloping just a little bit, because I want you to be able to put your models on top of here. Because about 1.5 inch movement, most games you can move up onto here, so I want to make this a playable area. So I want to leave a decent area here, but also big enough that maybe some of the smaller hills, if you want, you could put a hill on top of this. Now we make it a 2 level, whatever height blocking terrain. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'm just going to go around the edging here and doing it. So back to Blood Bowl. Oh, Blood Bowl. I so want to play Blood Bowl. And I almost really pulled the trigger in the last year. Found some Blood Bowl sets on sale at a local game store. And they actually had a crew that started a league. And I actually showed up one night while they were doing their expedition rounds, and it's like, okay, I want to learn this game. So for me, and when I talk about how I do things, I learn and try to implement what I feel like I would want to see. Whenever I'm in a situation, I'm usually looking at, like, how would I do it? Could I do it better? Oh, they're doing that really well. I want to make sure I do something like that. As an example, if you're not quite sure, I love running tournaments, but I love running a tournament where there's a door prize or something for everyone. Everyone's getting something. It might be a little bit something, but everyone's walking away with something. And sometimes having a decent prize for last place. I run not massive tournaments of 60-some players, of like 12 or so, and I've never run a tournament where last place was they dropped out, they just threw every game. No, I'm talking about people that tried and they just got the last place. I often like having a prize for last place because it stinks being down there and knowing that you tried. So I'll be going back and forth as I show off. So I got the hill side, and now I got a little slope here. And I'm going to probably go around and just edge it a little bit more in spaces. But this is basically done. There's my big hill. Now I'm going to be going to some of my little hills that hopefully could go up on top of this. Anyway, so back to Blood Bowl. So I show up at the game store, and I'm like, you see guys sitting around, not doing anything, just talking, chilling, that's fine. And going, hey, I wonder if anyone can give me a demo of Blood Bowl. Oh, hey, you got a team that we can borrow? Oh, it's partially assembled, it's not ready. Oh, you got a team over there? Yo, so-and-so, do you have an extra team that we can do a demo for? In the long run, there was one guy that did have another team. But, as soon as I'm done this game, I'm playing so-and-so. So I need my team. Sorry, man, we can't do a demo, but you can watch us two play as soon as they're done. Okay. 45 minutes later, probably could have done a rough demo for me. They're finally wrapping up their games. Not done yet. 90 minutes later, they're now done their game. They've packed up game 1 models, and they're moving to game 2. So you're telling me in 90 minutes you couldn't give me a demo? Man, you just lost who knows how many people might want to try the game. Okay, so that's how that starts. Then you got 2 games now going on, because it just happened that the 2 guys that were sitting around, 2 other guys showed up, and now we got 4 players for Blood Bowl, and they're going to get amped up. So it's an expedition game. If I'm doing it, dude, you come here. You want to learn how the game's played? This is an expedition game. It really doesn't matter. It'll work as a demo game. I'll walk you through everything, but play with my models against them. You get to roll the dice, everything. I'm just going to help you, teach you the rules, and advise you. If you're okay with that. Now, mind you, I would have also probably did the demo in the 90 minutes that we were waiting, but let's just put a pin in that and put that over there. So 1, if you know how long these games play that you're around and someone new is around, they're not probably going to just hang around and wait. I had an idea. I didn't have anything else to do that evening. I was supposed to be up at the game store meeting someone else for something that they didn't show up for. But anyway, I took the time. I wanted to try to see if I could get this watched. So now we got 2 games of Blood Bowl going on with 2 sets of two games, 4 players. No one asked, hey, why don't you roll the dice? It's all good. I'll help you. Okay. No one at any time for the next 2 hours. Because yes, these guys were playing Blood Bowl, expedition style, and their games were 2 hours. No one saying, hey, come over here, I'll tell you what I'm thinking, why I'm thinking it, so you have an idea of some of the levels of strategy involved. So here's another smaller hill. It's not as big area, but it's the same height. Flat area, so maybe if it's a skirmish game, you can put some models up top, edged it, and then like a scalloped slant a little bit, give some texture. And do the same on this smaller piece. So here I am, wanting to learn some Blood Bowl. So no one's talking about why they're doing the things they're doing. Not talking about any basic strategies, elements of hey, these are things that you just want to keep in mind when you're playing. Hey, this is what you want to think about. This is where I'm playing this team because their special rule is X, Y, Z. If you're this type of... None of that. I got none of that going on. And this is supposed to be expedition so people can try things out and feel out their games and teams and get people ready for the league. So I just find a place and get near one of the games and just try to overhear some of the things they're doing. But because they're playing like it's a real game, they're really not talking out their strategy of why they're doing things, and not very receptive to questions. So I just back off and let it be. Now there's a game going on behind me, and it's like, oh yeah, you see that? Oh man, that's just bad for you. 3 turns. One guy, not too much experience playing Blood Bowl. Other guy, lots of experience playing Blood Bowl. And now we got another small piece. So now we got 3 pieces cut out in about 16 minutes. I'm going to try to do, you're going to see me try to cut a pretty flat because this is a little bit wavy. I'm going to try to cut a straight line here. And then I'm going to cut out some wall segments. So hopefully I can do that while I'm talking. So he's just talking about, oh man, that just sucks for you. And I'm sitting there going, man, this is a newer player to Blood Bowl. And you're basically rubbing in his face that you're beating his team to a bloody pulp for fun. Now, Grant, I know it's an expedition, and they're getting ready for a league, and it's going to give it some perks. But at the end of the day, we're supposed to have fun. And if you're trying to, there's a new player. You don't know what they're like because you never played a game with them. Let's try to make it look friendly. But again, that's me. So when I do this, I'm using millimeters. And I am making my walls 1.1 centimeters or 11 millimeters. It's what I did with my last set of walls, and I feel like the depth was pretty good, or the width. And it's all kind of by feel. But that's just how I ended up making them with the cutting width and everything. Two points of the line for reference. So that was my evening of Blood Bowl. And I walked away going, I am not playing when I know I have a potential audience for people that want to learn a game I play. And that's most of us, we're going to want new players joining in the game. It grows the number of potential players we have to play against and with. Because life happens, you don't know when someone moves, you don't know when someone might go away, just don't know a lot of things. I'm getting some starting line cuts that I can drop in the groove. So I'll be honest. Okay, so one, make it look friendly. These games are supposed to be friendly. That's we're literally in a tournament, and you know what? When it says tournament, no hold bar. It's just what it is with a tournament. But otherwise, we are going to try to gain as many new players as possible for our games. It's just what hopefully our goal and aim is, especially if you're interested in growing the community and you're listening to this chat for that aspect. Then you know what? I know you want to help grow your community and you're looking for like what's other people's struggles. And one of my struggles is, does the community look friendly? If everyone is trying to play with the next big thing, then you know what? It's all about power gaming and buying to win. Because honestly, I don't have an endless supply of funds to buy everything that I have on my wish list. And if I did, that would mean my kids don't get to eat. I might have to miss a payment of something, and I might miss a chance to love on my family. And that's not okay for me. So I do try to watch what I buy, how I buy, and when I buy, and how much I spend. So that means I'm not going to be playing a tournament level list, buying new stuff every week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. I'm buying new stuff and usually in increments. I have never actually built a list and then bought that everything I needed for that list. I actually am looking forward to doing that one day. But most of the time, most of the stuff, the models I buy, I find on a great deal. I've been given some, or I find on sale. And then I find a reason to use those models. And that's just what it is for me right now. With the channel and other things, that might change down the line, but not right now. But anyway, building community. Make it look friendly. Make it look open. And if you're that person that's the community builder for your game in your area, have 2 armies, or at least a small demo group of another thing that at any time, if someone's like, hey, can I run this game? Yeah, here, I got a spare little list that we can do a small thing. Let's go. Ready to go. And I know lots of people out there, you build 2 sides because maybe some of the people you play with, I'll play it if you have everything. You know what? I've done that too. Cruel Seas, German, British. 2-player starter sets, German, British for Blood Red Sky. I have Wild West Exodus, and I got 2 sides for that. So, okay, so I'm going to turn these into walls. When it comes to walls, don't like something this long. So I'm just going to arbitrarily decide to cut them in different lengths, adding to some of the random appearances and look. I like a little randomness in the looks, and I'm going to shorten my blade, and I have a trash bag right here, and what I am literally doing, actually what I'll do is I'll do it up here. I am running the blade down the edges, the top edge, as well as the bottom, to roughen up and make it not clean. Just adding some angles to the perfect flatness of the foam. And I feel, after doing a couple of these sets, I personally just like how that looks. I'm making these walls not cut stone, but a hewn stone look. So it's not going to be straight, perfect angles. This is going to have some rough cuts, rough edges. So is the walls going to perfectly match up? No. But it'll have some character, some flavor, and you will have the option, without them looking out of place, to maybe put these as single wall segments, or putting them next to each other, but they're just rough-hewn stone walls that they've had some things happen to them. And I'll add the lines to that at a later date or a later time. I did the other ones like when the kids were watching TV and we're just relaxing for the rest of the day or night or whatever. I can sit with a pen and mark those. So you'll see those as a finished product later. But I'm going to do some rough cuts on these right now, so I know that they're ready for their lines. Now, if you don't mind, I'm just going to cut this so it's easy that the scraps just go right into the trash can or trash bag. So, okay, so have a team ready to go. That's a secondary team or army list or whatever it's called for the game that you are loving right now. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be a regular size game. Just something small that gives a flavor for your game, kind of balanced. Now, so Blood Bowl, fun. Have a demo team ready to go. Know your time allotments. If you've been playing this game long enough, you should know how long a game's going to take. Bold action, I know if I'm playing a 1250 full-size tournament game, if I'm experienced, it's a 2-hour game. If I'm playing with someone that's not experienced, I'm prepared for a 3 to 4 hour game. So roughly know your time commitments. So I'm not going to teach a new player a 1250 point game of bold action. I'm going to put a 300, maybe a 400 point list, or maybe, there will be no points. It'll be 2 squads, a tank of some sort, and a lieutenant. Why? Just to make it feel like, hey, look, you got a big thing that you can move around the table. But bold action is an infantry game. Yeah, but we still like playing with tanks. Anyway, so having that, so it's small enough to fit in whatever bag or transport case you use, but doesn't take away from your own list that you're playing with. Because I would not want to not have to bring a list I want to play with just so I can make room for a second army or demo list in my case. Okay. Let's see. Anything else from the Blood Bowl experience? I'll touch on that one thing on another one. So, second experience. Learning a game and what I really liked was the guy teaching the game. There was 2 of us that wanted to try this game out. Wait a minute. Never mind. Nope, scratch that. Wrong. I'm mixing memories. So this guy brings his models and teaches me the game. He's playing one side, I'm playing the other side. And there's this really cool effect that happens with some scenarios, and they chose to use that. So I got a vehicle and some infantry. Well, this really cool thing happens on a dice roll. My dice to my opponent, nothing special happens. Their dice, the experienced player, to the new player, I blew up your vehicle. Oh my! I've never seen that happen before. Oh my goodness, look at all those things. You're not going to be able to do anything on your first turn. How did I roll like that? So, what do I walk away from that experience? Just because that's the game doesn't mean that's how you demo the game. If there's something random that can happen that can make an experience not fun for a brand new player, don't do it. If you do decide to do something like that, be prepared to ignore really bad results. Now, what do I mean? So, I have been the referee teaching 2 players a game. Now, both players are brand new. I'll pull no punches. So if something bad happens to someone and their vehicle blows up, you know what? You both really don't know the game. And unless I can tell by your body language that you're really upset, it happens. I'm demoing with you. Something really bad happens to your special unit. Okay, pause. Let's pretend that did not blow up. Instead, let's say it got this result, because I want you to be able to play with that unit and see what it does at least once. That also means if I'm playing you, I'm not playing to win. I'm playing for you to try really cool things and have fun if possible. That means, and since most of our games have dice, I've put a unit out there for someone to shoot up and have fun shooting them up. And it did not go well with the dice. You know what? Okay, that sucks. Let's see what happens. Now what I'm taking here is some paper clips. And for these walls, they're pretty light because they're foam. What I'm going to do is take some cutters. And I'm going to turn them into kind of a staple shape. And insert it into the foam to help give it some weight for standing up. It's done so far pretty well. Actually, I can just do that. Then I'm going to insert it into the bottom and the middle. You got to be careful with this part because it can punch through the foam. But because I'm making these wall segments, I can actually fix that when I draw the lines. I'm pushing it in so that it does not ruin the flatness of the bottom. And now I can hit this a little bit and it's not going over. Just a little weight can make a big difference. And each paper clip, I can typically make about 3 U's out of it. One from each twisted end and then the middle piece. Middle piece just needs some bending around to get it all bent up in the right way. I've tried doing a straight piece of metal just going in. So far, my experiments, this little U is just enough to put some weight into it, and it works out well that way. Those messages can wait till I'm done. And when you cut it, this one's just perfect already, so I can just, without bending, insert it in, push in, and now, boop, see? It takes a lot. If I just accidentally pound it or hit it, it's fine. What I mean? Same. So I need 2 paper clips. So again, this does not cost a whole lot to add to it. It's just a nice little thing. I've never actually seen anyone talk about doing something like this. I thought of it with my wife. I was like, there's just got to be a way that I can just add a little weight to this and make it work. So I literally just cut this into 3 sections so that it looks like this. I got these 2 U's from the paperclip side, and then this I will bend into a U. That way you're not messing around too much. So anyway, so if something random really bad happens, just pretend it never happened to you that way. Or if it's really not fun, if it happened to you and you're like, this is like a gut wrencher, that's what I'm talking about. Like something like that, like you know it's detrimental to the other person's army, or really detrimental if it happened early. I mean, if you brought a tank to bolt action and you never got to shoot that tank, that's pretty crappy for the person that didn't actually get to use their tank. Because again, let's face it, if you brought a tank to bolt action 9 out of 10, that is a huge point cost. Same for a vehicle on 40K. I mean, most vehicles in most games are not cheap for an army build. Okay, so those are done. These are my scraps I'm going to be working with later. So now I'm going to, I really like filling those corners. They were a pain in the butt. Let's go. Let's do some scatter rocks, aka Stonehenge pieces. I'm going to cut this into some different lengths and widths. And actually, I'm going to probably need the paper clips again. But again, I'm just going to be carving these up down here. You can use a foam cutter for this, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to, let's see, take a piece out of here. I got stuck. So, I mean, that category with, if it's gut wrenching, it covers so many things that I don't think I would have time to list every eventuality. I hope you get it makes sense to you, and you're like, hey, yeah, I already do that. That makes perfect sense, because some people don't. Okay, so next up, yeah, let's do this. So, hey, we're gonna go. You want to learn this game? Let's learn this game. All right. So what's first? Well, see, the setup's like this. 20 minutes later. Okay, now we're all set up. Okay. Now this is how this works. 20 minutes later, we got a basic rule explanation of how the turn should be. Okay. 20 minutes later, we're about to start the first turn because we had to fine-tune some things. And then we go through the first turn. Just so you know, basically the entire first turn is all about positioning and movement. Now, let's not forget that most games, the game is sometimes won and lost by deployment. If I deployed badly, I might have already lost the game. If I deployed great, I might have won the game because of that. And if you don't know how to counter X, Y, and Z, well, you're just really messed over and forget any chance of fun that you might have. Okay, so Turn 1. Just so you know, we're not going to be shooting at all. It's just all movement. And because it's turn 1, and I really don't know what I'm doing, but maybe you have an idea what you're doing, and you are really thinking about what goes first, second, third, fourth. 20 minutes have gone by, and I know how to move my units. That's about it. Turn 2. All right, here we go, right? Well, just so you know, this could happen, this could happen, this happened. Wait a minute, you're telling me you didn't tell me everything I could do at the beginning? Well, then I would have done this differently, because maybe I want to put this unit on Overwatch because I saw you were moving up. Because I played other games, and in other games, I like doing Overwatch. Why didn't you tell me I could do Overwatch? Oh, because we need to get up and fight each other. Maybe I think you gave me something that I should defend with. Anyway. So now we have spent almost an hour getting ready to play the game. And we call this a demo. So what I take away is, as a kid, well, being young adult, kid, whatever, teenager, I went to a games workshop, and it was awesome and beautiful, and I have tried to run every demo like they did when I tried 40K for the first time. Here, the table doesn't have to be like this. The table's this. Here's your dudes. Here's my dudes. We're in shooting range, because you're going to learn how to move while you're shooting. We're going to get right to the action. At the end of 10 minutes, wow, that was really cool. I got to shoot, I got to move, I got to make decisions on my own, and I had some fun. And I wasn't bored out of my mind listening to what I could have done the turn earlier. So run a demo, keep them short, put things out there for the player that's learning to shoot, kill. Let them kill things. People always have a better memory when they win. And you know what? Don't bring the tournament list. Bring a fun list. Bring something that you want to try, maybe. Bring something that's wacky. But let them win. More than once, maybe. And you get to try out some new units that you bought just because you thought they looked cool. But you know you'll probably never play in a tournament because they're really not good as a tournament list. But the model is awesome. So, keep the demo short, keep the demo fun, and get them in the action right away. For bold action, I typically set up 2 demo lists within, I would probably say, 30 inches of each other. That way, there's some choice for movement, and that there is the possibility for them to shoot on their first activation if they want to. So they can advance and move. That's me. So again, I'm just carving these into some rock pylons type things. Add some scatter. I am trying, this blade needs to be changed, so I'm trying to work with it for now. So what's influencing me is trying to make sure it's as clean as possible without any gouge lines or anything like that. When it comes to rocks like this, I kind of enjoy how the blade makes them look compared to the hot wire cutter, but everyone's got different taste. Hot wire cutter, you have a lot more crevices, The blade, you got a lot more angled surfaces. I'm not done with those yet. Okay, so now I'm trying to think, what's the next one? Growing your community. Be prepared to be stood up. I'll come if you set up a game day. I'll come. Awesome. I got 20 people saying they're going to show up. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not even going to be 5 people. You might have 1. If your first game day or demo day or whatever you want to call it is a bust, don't give up. It's not personal. Life happens. So the first couple stories we're talking about the atmosphere you want someone to see when they come into the game or the game room or wherever you're playing at. Now we're talking about building it. People, at least I feel like in the US, in my area, love tournaments. They will come out for a tournament. They will not come out for a game day. I feel at this point in my personal experience, game days work after I've done tournaments. And a tournament works after I have played 2 or 3 times with the different players in my immediate area. What do I mean? Okay. So I live in Maryland. If I have someone I know that lives in Virginia, that just broke. I am not expecting them to come for a game day. Game days, usually, you might be able to get in 1 game before life happens. When I say a tournament, oh boy, I know I'm going to be there all day. But I also know I'm going to get in 3, maybe 4 games, depending on the game and how long the games are. So, back to like my order, my experience. I will not do a game day. I probably won't do a demo day either. Unless. So let's talk about the unless. Stores having a group demo day where maybe 2 or 3 games are being demoed for the gaming community. Check, I'll be there. 9 out of 10, the store hopefully might have a sale. The store will promote it. Hopefully the store has the game tables where the sales floor is. So people that are just walking by will see the games being played. I'm now going to do some small rocks that can go on top of the bigger rocks. Okay. So, we have a group demo day going on. Love it. I want to be there for it. I have a chance of maybe someone's coming to test out 1 game and maybe they'll see the game I really like and they'll decide, hey, that's cool too. Or maybe, oh, you know what? I'll try that while I'm here. Oh, I never knew it was going to be like this. Either way, that'll be demo day number 1. Demo day number 2, it's a special event. A store is asking me to do it for a very specific reason, and I will do it for the store. I've done that. I will not do man, I think this game's awesome. I want to run a demo day. No. I'll do it for a store. I'll do it because there's more demos being done. I will not just do it just because for me. That has not worked out yet for me. If it worked out for you, great. Please post in the comments your experience, because I would love to know how that worked out. Unless it's 40K, and then let's just be honest, if it says GW in the game or made by GW, that does not follow all these rules or experiences usually. So now I got a tall little rock that can hopefully, I'm going to test it. Nope, I need to carve it up some more. I want to be able to fit on that. But be tall too. Yeah. So now that can be a tall piece that can sit there. If you angle it right. You can kind of sit on the small piece. So then with this, technically I could do something like that. And now I got this 3 high. So that'd be 1.5 inches, 3, 4.5 inch tall rock that can block some terrain, or 2, 3 inch tall rocks that can block some terrain, or 1.5 inch rocks and hills that can do some blocking of line of sight. However you want to do it. Some versatility here. And because that was a full piece, I used that. And actually, yeah, I'm gonna save this little piece because it's enough little piece of scatter. I could drop this right on top of here to just add some flavor, or if maybe I don't want a unit to be able to stand up here, you can just drop it on top of here, and now you block off this from someone being able to stand on. Or I can just put it on here and add scatter around the other little rocks. So I do enjoy these little pieces. It may not necessarily be total functioning purpose, but it does add a little flavor to the table. And that's going to be some of that too. Anyway, so that is my take on a demo day and my preference on if I was going to set up a demo day. So definitely, so me building a community now. 1, get in touch with the store, figure out, do they carry the game I have an interest in? Or where did I buy my game from, and say, hey, is there people playing this game already? Hopefully the answer is yes, and you don't have to build a gaming community at all. But if the answer is no, then maybe you're the one that can do it. Well, I'm so busy. You know what? It doesn't take much time. Just the effort and desire. You never know who might get interested. So I'm going to find 1 or 2 people and use the store to help. Like, who else is buying this game? Can you point me in the right direction? Can we share some information? If they got a Facebook page or a post on there. But get connected with 1 or 2 people, or maybe even in the area. Maybe they don't know your local store carries the product. And say, hey, can we meet, play a game? So if you can find 1 or 2 people that have an interest to play the game, then I'm going to be looking at, okay, let's get together and get some games played. This way I can gauge how reliable you are. Are you someone that says, I'll be there, and you never show up? Are you someone that life just always happens to, and there's always something happening every other time we try to play a game, that you're, you know what, 50% reliable? There's nothing wrong with that. Life happens. But being able to know who that happens to is important, because for some reason, some people that happens to. For me, life happens every so often that I can't control. Get sick, Sometimes with kids, family, car, work, whatever. So we've gotten some games in. I got 1, 2, or maybe even, if you're really on a positive note, 3 people that you've now played multiple times with, and maybe they've played each other, and everyone's got a good vibe, everyone's friendly, or maybe you're like, okay, so-and-so is a tournament player. They just don't know how to do a casual game. So when there's new players, they're not playing so-and-so. I'll play so-and-so. And you know what? I might lose a lot, but I'm also going to bring my tournament list when I play him. I'm not going to just have a fun, casual list. But get an idea who's playing and what they're like, so you know, or someone in that group knows how to match people up. And that's very important for building a community, because if you match someone up, if it's a historical game and someone's a rivet counter, I'm not going to put them against someone who is like, oh, I'm playing this what if army, or I'm painting my own color scheme because I can. I'm not going to put that rivet counter against them any day of the week unless they choose or want to play each other. And hopefully they will over time, and they'll accept, like, hey, I love my rivets, you love your fun, casual, whatever you created, but that's okay. You're awesome. We can play together or play against each other. So, so yeah, you got some games played. Now I'm going to run a tournament. Why are you running a tournament? You got like 3 or 4 players. No, I got 3 or 4 players that I've played multiple times, and they've played each other, and it's gone well. And you know what? In the space of doing that, if it works out for everyone, I've done a game day. But you didn't talk about a game day. That's because, you know what? I got some interest, and if we do try to get everyone together for a game day, that's awesome. If we can get everyone's schedules to match up. But official, well-organized game day, I'm going to do after I get some a tournament scheduled. Game day. See who shows up. Maybe someone will show up, or they'll come, and I always advertise. It says connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. So I'm going to be quiet here for a gap. Just hang in for me while I wait for this to tell me what it's going to. Oh, it's good. Message went away. Okay, so what I'm going to do is a corner section of a wall. I was just debating on if I wanted to do this or not, and I am. I'm measuring the thickness of the wall on one side, and now I'm going to measure the thickness of the wall on the other side. So I'm going to schedule a tournament, because you will get people traveling for a tournament that would not come out for a game day. So work with the store. Work with the company if they're nice. Maybe you've been collecting stuff because you know you've been demoing the game. You've been building more than one army. And because you've been doing that, maybe you got some spare stuff yourself. Get some prize support, especially if it's a store. If they're willing to do a gift card because you're willing to charge a fee for the entry, then figure out what they're willing to do or what they want to do. But talk with the store, talk with your contacts, figure out what is this tournament going to look like. Advertise it. Almost every game I can think of has a Facebook page. A regional, national, international. Make the event, publicize it. Share it repeatedly. And you know what? See what happens. But make sure you're advertising it. Give yourself a month and a half out at least, so people can see it. It gives people time to think about it. Maybe they're a busy person and they need that time to set their schedules in place. Some people need 3 months notice before they can commit to something. And you know what? Some people, things happen at the last minute and they'll be there. And they could be the day of decision. A lot of people have lots of different things going on in their life. So don't judge. Don't get discouraged. Go with it. But people will come out for tournaments. And so I think I'm going to save tournament organization for a different talk. Because there's so many different things I would say about organizing a tournament that I'm looking at the time and how much foam I have left, and I'm going to do that a different day. So bear with me. Tournament organization will be a different talk. So I now have this wonderful wall section. It's pretty much too long, so I am going to trim it down. I'm going to take some off, just arbitrary. I'm going to do the same thing, take the corners off a little bit so it can match the other sections. Okay, so you got the tournament going, and because you advertised it, people are going to show up and they'll be like, wow, I never knew this store was here, or there's a player base here. People usually will come out for a tournament. So this is your chance to get to know people, build a reputation for whatever you want to be known for, like awesome supportiveness, great prize support, friendliness, knowledgeability. It can be a lot of different things. But it builds up an awareness to say, yeah, we need blah, 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 or and talk to people and say, hey, are you willing to come up and play up here? Is this reasonable for you to come play? But either way, you've now made some friends that are in the bigger scope of the community that are playing these games. Or acquaintances, maybe friends is the wrong word. But you now have acquaintances in the gaming community of your choice that are now more than the 3 or 4 friends that were playing the game with you. Build on that. So at this point, depending on how well your tournament did, how many people attended the tournament, and again, for a tournament discussion later, but take pictures and post them. But either way, besides that, now keep in contact with those people through the Facebook event that you created or whatever you did, and communicate your next tournament. If you do quarterly tournaments, that means you got 3 months, maybe more, before the next tournament happens. And maybe now you build in the game day. Why the game day? Well, we could do a game day every month. And if I do a game day every month, you're building in variability so people can hey, maybe some people are brand new to the game, and that tournament was their first real exposure to playing multiple games. I, I've met so many people that until they showed up at the tournament, they really never played a full game or more than 2 games of whatever. The tournament's just a great place for them to get some kicks. And whoever joined in, thanks for joining in. I just see the number 2 next to the person icon. I'm cutting up some foam for some terrain, and I am talking about building a gaming community. So after and since I got a tournament in 3 months, maybe 4 months, I got some time to arrange 3 or 4 game days. So I got my 3 or 4 friends and whoever showed up at the tournament. Now, all of us are a bigger pool of players that are showing up to the store or wherever you're meeting to play. And you're getting games in, you're building up knowledge and building up those relationships leading up to the next tournament, which you're publicizing, you're working with the store. And you know what? Stores might be doing more for you at this point because, one, you've demonstrated that you're consistent, you're a force to reckon with, because players are coming. And if players are coming, 9 out of 10, most of them are buying something at the store. And the store is probably going to hopefully want to keep supporting those events because those events bring people into the store. And some of those people are going to come to the store when there is no game or tournament showing up because maybe they want to come buy something or order something. So you can really build a good relationship with the store too for yourself as well. And as you work with them and they work with you, and you build that relationship. I use that word way too many times. But it's mutually beneficial. You got a place to play, and they got players. You got players coming, and all it's working out. So now I got 2 corner sections, and I could do another one, but I'm looking at what I got. So I got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 pieces here. I'm going to probably get some more. You know what? I'm going to get another medium-ish hill out of this. So let's get this going. I probably would have gotten this done in a little bit faster time, but I'm also trying to talk while I'm doing this. So that is some of the things I would focus on when I'm building a community. One, find at least one other person that's willing to play the game that you want to play. If you can get up to 4 of you, awesome. Get 3 or 4 games in that's reliable across the stage with each of those people. Schedule a tournament. Talk to the store. See what they're going to do for the tournament. After the tournament, schedule your next tournament 3 to 4 months out. Then, while you have that built up and that tournament scheduled, now you start talking about doing some publicized game days because some of those people that were at the tournament now know where you're at, know where the store's at, know the people, and they're going to come up and play the games because they now know the people. Rinse, wash, repeat. Tournament, game days between tournaments, and you're going to see the community grow over time. And just keep engaging with everyone and keep it fun. It lasted down to the very little bit left. So the big pieces of foam are done. I'm going to be carving the hewn rock on these probably tomorrow. Put those off to the side for now. with the other walls. And because those are corner sections, I'm not putting little paperclip pieces in. Now I got some odds and ends. These odds and ends here, I'm actually going to probably turn into little rocks. That way, with that bigger hill section, if you want to take these small hill rocks and you can make it look like a boulder field or something like that. So what I'm talking about is you would have this rock here, and then you would put some of these smaller pieces around it to break it up to look like a boulder field around the bigger hill here. So that's what I mean by I'm going to build some scatter pieces. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5, 6 of these pieces into this set. So what else would I say about building the community? Use whatever social media you're comfortable with. Facebook Messenger is really nice because you get a group of people going. Discord is popular right now. Personally, for me, I haven't messed with Discord too much. I'm sure that's going to change at some point for me. But if you ask me right now, what I use, I'm using Facebook Messenger. I will make different size groups and label those groups according to what they are. So if it's a Warlord group, I'm going to name it a Warlord group. If it's a Bold Action group, I'll name it Bold Action. Or Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Armada. Hopefully you're getting the idea. And you know what? If it's quiet too long, post some pictures of some miniatures you're working on, or talk about, hey, I'm thinking about doing this for a list or this. Just something that'll spark some conversation. You never know. This way it keeps the conversation fresh. It keeps the group going. And know that not everyone's going to post. But everyone's probably going to read some bits of it. And if it gets too silly too much, they might just tune it out because it's just what it is. But if you make those friends and connections through Facebook, at least there's a way for them to reach out and say, hey, you know what? I got a free time XYZ. Anyone up for a game? You can schedule a game that way. And there's a little track record of what everyone did, say, do. And yeah, you just never know when that might come in handy. But if the store or whatever group's got a Facebook page, don't be afraid to put events up, especially if they're international. Put them up because it's an international group. They know that not everyone's going to be going to every event that's listed on there, because if they're in the UK, they're in the UK. But post it, publicize it. Let people know what you're doing, where, when, and you never know who's going to show up or see it. There's new gamers going to all of our gaming sites and groups every day. People leave a game for a reason, and some people join a game for a reason. One of the things I like that I did on Victory at Sea, and I actually wish it would become standard on, and maybe one day I'll try to do it in some of the groups I'm in. I just haven't done it except for Victory at Sea, is make a post on Facebook that's linked to how to play, battle reports, reviews, information about the game. So like Victory at Sea, I made a post and I broke it up by, this is people's thoughts on the game. This is battle reports of the game. This is going over the special rules by nation. This is a rules breakdown of the game. And doing different things and headings with all the links. So if someone was new to the group or the game, they can just go to that page and go, oh, look, there's all these resources that people have put together already. and I don't have to go looking, because sometimes Google fails us when we type in the wrong thing and we don't type in enough, or it's like, oh, look, there's all this stuff. Oh, this is a good resource to learn about the game. Then you know what? Awesome. I don't have to waste time trying to find something. I can just go and click on this link. Let's see. Oh, this is like etiquette, life thing. Watch how you talk about other people in the game group. If you talk smack about someone too much, it's probably going to go back to them at some point, and or other people are going to wonder, what do you say about me when my back is turned? I'm just thinking about one group that it wasn't a group I was playing in. It was conversations people had about someone else in a different group that they were in. They were like, oh, this person is XYZ, or they're a bad sport. Be prepared for them to rage quit every 30 seconds when things go badly, because it always goes badly for them. And because it always goes badly, they always just start throwing things, and be prepared for them to do this or do that. And it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy, because things never go well for them because things always go badly. In the particular case, I actually did a demo game of something for that person, and you know what? It did not go great. But at the same time, it was trying to constantly give the positive encouragement of like, that's okay. You know what? Let's try this. You know what? That happens to me too. And it's sometimes you can counter by doing this, or you can mitigate bad chance by doing this in the game. When you buy in, try to do this, or look at this group. Be helpful. I mean, who wants more negativity? I mean, life is what it is, and things are pretty negative all the time on a regular basis. Trying to find people that want to be positive is hard, and people remember that. So I'm ending up finishing up some of these smaller pieces just for some flair and character pieces, adding some weight with paper clips right now. But yeah, I mean, those are some things that, top of my head, things that have a lasting impression with me, what I kind of look at and focus on when I'm working on a gaming community that I'm part of, or I'm looking to build and want to see flourish. So yeah, not quite games that I wish I could play. So maybe that'll be a different video too. But next hobby chat, I'll definitely sit and talk about like organizing my feelings and my take on how to organize a tournament. What can I do with this? Oh, you know what I'm going to do with this? I know what I'm going to do with this. This is going to end up being, this is just too thin here, but this is not a bad thickness. I'm going to turn this into a half wall section. That's just a little, so this is going to take a lot of trimming. But yeah, and you know what it does? I feel like anyone can build a gaming community. It takes more effort and intention for some than others. Like some people are just naturally outgoing. Some people are just naturally that type of personality that people are drawn to. But realistically, in the gaming community, I feel that most of us, we're here for a good time. Most of us want to support each other, and we really do want to see our game that we're playing at the moment grow in popularity, grow in knowledge base. So you can see how this is now much a little bit lower than this one on one end, and so kind of a ruined wall section that you can just throw in. And I don't think I can do that with one of those. So paper clipping for some weight. There we go. That's too thin for me to make into a wall. So with that, hour 20 minutes chatting, and I just carved up, what was that, 14 by 9, 8, whatever it was, inch of foam into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 pieces of terrain. And let's get so there you go. So we got a big hill, kind of a medium hill, some smaller-ish hills. We got our scatter rocks that you can put into a Stonehenge appearance or add around the other rocks to make it into like a thrown rough field. And we got some wall sections to help block up some areas. And this is a 2x2, and you can see that it takes up a little bit more than half of the length. So let's say maybe 1.5 feet by a foot or so. Like on Legion, if you can put all the terrain in like one corner of the table, that's roughly an average terrain. So this is pretty average density. Definitely would have to include some forest or not. That's why after I get these 5 boxes done, I am thinking about doing a mixed hills and forests battle ready box, table box. But again, that's down the line. I'm trying to get one thing at a time done. Hopefully I'll have these 5 boxes up for sale. Hopefully I'll have them done by next week. But otherwise, hope you, thanks for stopping by, watching the video. If you make it this far, achievement unlocked for you. It's an hour and 20 minutes. I was hoping it was going to be an hour. My soda did make it to the end. Soda's done. I'm done. I'm going to carve the lines into this. Check out my Facebook, Dice to the Round Table, and you'll see pictures of some of the other stuff. And then the 4 other sets I posted, I'll post this one too. What else? Anything else I'm going to say at the end of this? Subscribe, like, comment. What are your thoughts about building a gaming community? Definitely will be intrigued to hear other people's thoughts that have done it, not done it, successes. Have you had similar experiences to what I've had experiences with? I guess that's it. I mean, it's pretty late now for when I'm recording this. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. And have a great day, evening, morning, wherever you are when you're watching this. In the future, can't be in the past because I wouldn't have been recorded yet. Either way, take it easy. This is Matt from Dice to the Round Table signing off.